Welcome back to Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and right now I want to go over WorkHorse stock because I was doing my usual stroll through articles about the stocks that I'm currently holding. And so as I was reading through my articles, I came across one about WorkHorse stock talking about if it's a bad value. And so anytime I read about a stock of mine, I have to look through the article to see if there's any sort of substance. And one thing that I have to say about a lot of these articles that get written, they are so BS that I can't even explain to you. There's absolutely no substance in these articles, and I want to go over that right here. So when I read this title, I was assuming that the person who wrote this article was going to give us reasons why this is a bad value. So I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking, and so if you just read through this, Investors Observer's proprietary ranking system gives WorkHorse stock about a 21 out of 100. So first off, I have no idea what that even represents. And so when I would click this full report, it still would not tell me what this ranking system is all about. And so you just keep reading this. This rank is primarily influenced by a fundamental score of 5. In addition to the average rating from Wall Street analysts, WorkHorse stock has a mean target of 12.5. That means that they expect it to decline over the next 12 months. And so again, no explanation, just a straight number. Going a little bit further, WorkHorse's rank also includes a long-term technical score of 25 with a short-term score of 32. So again, just throwing numbers, still have not explained to me why WorkHorse is a bad value. Well, so we haven't got any sort of reason why WorkHorse is a bad value. We have about 3 different ranking systems that whoever is behind this is basically scoring WorkHorse. Maybe I'm just being ignorant. Maybe it's a little bit further in the article. So let's go further in the article and let's see what's happening with WorkHorse stock today. Well, it's giving us a play-by-play. We're down 3.46. The S&P has risen. So a whole bunch of numbers here, and I've yet to find anything about why WorkHorse is going to go down. But look, let's click here to get the full report on WorkHorse stock. What does this mean? This gets a very poor rank from Investors Observer. Our comprehensive analysis of fundamental and technical factors gives WorkHorse a rank of 20. Our methodology considers analysis of the company's financial situation and how it has traded recently. WorkHorse ranks of 20 means that it ranks below 80% of the stock. So again, a lot more numbers thrown at us, but if we want to know exactly what this means, we have to get a premium service. And so I went through this article and I saw nothing. I saw absolutely nothing. I saw no substance in this article. I may as well be a Wall Street analyst, or I may as well be an analyst for, what is this, Investors Observer, and give WorkHorse a rank of 50. Can I tell you what that rank means? Absolutely not, because neither can they. And so when I see these articles about stocks, these are all just people trying to make money. They know people are going to click on the article. They know people are going to read it. There's no substance at all. So I want to talk about the substance because that's why we're here. So right now I'm on barchart.com. And so essentially what this is letting me know, it's the calls versus the put ratio for WorkHorse stock. And so I don't want to go through each and every single one of these calls or each or every single one of these puts. And so the only thing that concerns me as an investor, as a shareholder, is what our ratio is. We have a total call volume of 95,000 and we have a total put volume of 14,000, which then equates to a 0.15 put to call volume ratio. What I just showed you guys is factual information that should try to help you make a better decision, not some of these random articles using some ranking system that who knows if it's approved by anyone. We can just create any sort of ranking system these days and put a number to it and then write an article clearly, because that's what everybody's doing about WorkHorse. No substance at all in any of these articles. Whoever gets paid to do these, I wish I could do this too, because I could really use the money to write a BS analysis on a stock. I could just slap numbers on any stock. WorkHorse, that's a 40 rank. Tilray, that's a 20 rank. We don't know what these ranks mean, but the fact is there are a lot more calls than puts. So if you're saying that WorkHorse is a bad value, I would love to know why, because if I'm looking at the numbers, a lot more people are buying call options. And so if people are buying call options, that means they're betting for the stocks to go up, right? And so what this article is trying to do is trying to disengage people from buying Workhorse stock. Why? Because the hedge funds are always in cahoots with the analysts. That is just the name of the game. Whether they are on the same side, whether the analyst is actually part of a hedge fund, usually they go in tandem. So whatever the hedge funds want as an outcome is usually what the analysts are going to try to push out. And so that is just my opinion. I may be wrong, but the fact of the matter is there is no substance or factual information in that little article that we went through. But here we are looking at the actual numbers where we have a lot more people buying calls and puts. And so now that we have all that information out of the way, let's go to Workhorse stock and let's cover this bad boy right now. Today, Workhorse was up a strong 9.42%. So again, analysts have a mean rating of 12.5, yet we were up 10% today. And so I want to go over everything that we are looking at here on Workhorse stock. The first thing I want to mention here is our MACD. Look how beautiful this reversal on our MACD was. So usually when you get a crossover of your signal line and your MACD, that would mean that we are going to start to see some down days. However, while we got to our signal line, we actually had a nice little curl up. We had very nice accumulation today, a very strong day overall here in Workhorse. And so I did pull out this little pennant that we have, and I'll show you a little bit clearer on the 30-minute time frame what this looks like. So if I zoom this out, this is the current pattern that Workhorse is trading in the short term. I know a lot of people don't like looking at patterns, especially when it relates to a short squeeze. However, I will always look at the patterns because that is how traders know when to buy and sell. And so right now we could see some resistance at this $16.40 level, and we will most likely trade within this pennant until about July 2nd. At this point in time, we are either going to get a nice move to the upside or we are going to get a nice move to the downside. Either way, you should be looking at a move to come up in the next couple of days here in Workhorse. Our accumulation is starting to go up. Our MACD had a very nice crossover, and it looks like people are going to continue to buy Workhorse. And so let's lay out the facts on the table right now. We know that Workhorse is the most shorted stock in the game. The second fact is we know how to defeat these hedge funds who continue to short the highest shorted stocks, and that is to buy and hold your shares. Very straightforward. And so right now we have a ton of call volume coming in. We don't have too many puts coming in. Hedge funds are starting to get nervous because as these calls go up, there's only so much that they can do to put a lid on the price action. And so right now I'm still holding strong on my shares, and if the price dips back down into the $11 range, I will be there to scoop up even more shares. I am going to run this one to the moon, and I'm patient and I will wait as long as I need to for that to happen. I just want to remind everybody here, zoom this back out here on the daily time frame. We still have a pretty large gap to fill here at around $31. I do believe that eventually will get filled. Do I believe in this ultimate price target that Wall Street analysts have of $12.50? Absolutely not. I don't take any sort of analyst recommendation to heart because all these people are doing are slapping recommendation based on what they believe is going on with the company. But each company has something different going on. There's a different narrative that you always need to take into account. And you can't trust an analyst because analysts aren't on your side. That's the truth. The truth is that analysts are most of the time on the side of the bigger money, which is the hedge funds. And so I've mentioned this on my channel before. When we see a pattern brewing, news comes out very timely. When a stock looks like it's about to break out, we'll get some really great news, and that will lead the stock to go even further. When we see a stock that's about to break down, we'll get some bad news, and that'll sink the stock even more. It's very simple how this game works. The big money is always going to continue to manipulate the share price to defeat the little guy. However, we as the little guys know how to defeat the big guys, and that is to buy and hold. And so I will continue to update you guys on WorkHorse stocks because these articles aren't doing WorkHorse any justice. They aren't going over what is going on with WorkHorse, which is the fact that people are trying to squeeze the hedge funds. They're not going to talk about that. Why would they want to talk about that? Because that is going to put more power into the retailer's hands. And that is why my job as a retail investor is to bring all of this information to light. The fact of the matter is we have a ton more calls than puts right now on this stock. We are trading in a triangle. We have a gap to fill here at 31. We have a nice bounce off of our signal line with our MACD. And let's pull out another signal because I want to check out our SMAs. We are still below our 100 and our 200-day SMA. So as long as we are above our 50 SMA, we are golden here on WorkHorse stock. You can see the volume the last couple days has been very nice. It hasn't been as high as it has been back here. However, it has been more buying than selling anyway. And you can see we are starting to curl up here on our accumulation. So I would not be surprised to see this breakout. Look for a move to happen in the next couple days here in WorkHorse. And because of how high the call ratio is, I do think that might be a move to the upside. And so that is just my opinion. I wanted to make a quick little update video here on WorkHorse because there's just too much information out there that I want to give out my piece for the retail investor, because that is exactly what I am, and we are the little guys in this situation. So if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. We are on the road to 10K subs, so if you made it to this point, feel free to hit that subscription button. This is Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.